The first real test didn't happen on the road. It happened in the small moments people use to measure your boundaries. It started as a simple instruction. Pick Madame up at 5:30 p.m. sharp, not 5:31, Mrs. Jane said that afternoon, and don't leave your position. Soo-lay nodded. Yes, Ma. He waited outside Halima Group like a shadow with a steering wheel. At exactly 5:25, a young woman stepped out of the building, walking like she owned the sidewalk. Tall, clean makeup, a perfume that arrived before she did. Her dress was red, the kind of red Abuja women wear when they want the world to notice them. She approached the car and looked through the windscreen, like she was inspecting a product. "You're the new driver," she said. Soo-lay stepped out politely. "Good evening, Ma." She smiled slightly. "Don't call me Ma. I'm Lola." Soo-lay didn't return the smile. "Good evening, Miss Lola." Her smile widened, amused by his restraint. "You're disciplined. That's rare." Soo-lay kept his gaze neutral. "I'm working." She walked around the car slowly, as if admiring it, then stopped close to him, too close. "How long have you been with Zainab?" Soo-lay's jaw tightened. "I just started." Lola tilted her head. "Then you don't know her yet." Soo-lay said nothing. Lola's eyes swept him from head to toe, not shy about it. "She has many enemies," she said casually, "and she thinks every loyal person is loyal forever." She leaned in slightly. "But people change." Soo-lay held his ground. "Madame will be out soon," he said. Lola laughed softly, like the sound had money inside it. "Look at you. Abuja will eat you if you keep acting like a saint." She stepped back. "Tell her I came by." She turned and walked away, heels clicking like a warning. Soo-lay exhaled and checked his watch. It is 5:30 p.m. Zainab emerged exactly on time. She walked straight to the car without greeting anyone. As Soo-lay opened the door, she paused slightly. "Lola was here," she said. Soo-lay nodded. "Yes, Ma." She entered the car. "Did she speak to you?" she asked. "Yes, Ma." "What did she say?" Soo-lay tightened his grip on the steering wheel. "She said you have enemies, and she asked me to tell you she came by." Then, "And what do you think?" Zainab asked. Soo-lay swallowed. "I think Abuja likes drama, Ma." A soft sound came from the back seat. Not laughter, but something close. "Drive, let's go," Zainab said. Halfway through the journey, a car tried to cut into the convoy. Soo-lay reacted instantly. No panic, no noise, just control. After a moment, "You handle pressure well," Zainab said. Soo-lay answered, "My father used to say, if your hands shake, your life spills." Your father taught you well," Zainab said. And in that moment, Soo-lay felt something shift. Small, subtle, but undeniable. In Abuja, people don't need evidence. They need a story. By the third day, the security guards at Halima Group already knew Soo-lay's name. By the fifth day, the receptionist had started calling him "fine driver." By the seventh day, one cleaner whispered to another as Soo-lay walked past, "Na him be that new one way Madame dey carry." Soo-lay tried to remain invisible, but Abuja does not allow proximity to power to stay hidden. On the ninth day, Soo-lay found the charm again. It happened in the morning, before the house fully woke up. Soo-lay had entered the car garage early, doing what disciplined workers do, checking tires, mirrors, fuel, cleanliness. He leaned into the car to adjust the seat position slightly, and something slid from under the seat and fell gently on the floor mat. A small leather charm. Soo-lay froze. He picked it up carefully. It felt worn, like it had lived through many hands. The stitching was neat. The leather was dark brown like an old cola nut. He turned it over and noticed a tiny opening. Curiosity tried to fight with fear, but curiosity won by 1 inch. Soo-lay opened it. Inside was a folded piece of paper. His heart beat louder. He unfolded it slowly, like he was defusing a bomb. One word was written there: Soo-lay. Not Soo-layman, not driver, just Soo-lay. The exact name his mother called him when she was begging him to be careful. His breath caught. He stared at the charm as if it could explain itself. Behind him, a voice spoke. "You found it." Soo-lay spun around and saw Baba Idris standing at the garage entrance. His face looked calm, but his eyes were too sharp for this to be casual. "Sir, I didn't," Soo-lay began. Baba Idris approached slowly. "You weren't meant to touch it, but maybe now it's time." Soo-lay swallowed. "How can my name be inside?" Baba Idris took the charm gently from his hand, as if it were fragile. "Some things in this city don't start today. They start long before you arrive." Soo-lay's stomach twisted. "Are you saying someone planned for me to be here?" Baba Idris didn't answer directly. Instead, he said, "When Madame was younger, she lost someone she loved. Not to death, to betrayal." He paused. "Since then, she trusts nobody completely. Not staff, not friends, not family." Soo-lay's throat tightened. "What does that have to do with this charm?" Soo-lay asked. Baba Idris looked toward the mansion. "Madame is not like ordinary rich people. She protects herself, sometimes with lawyers, sometimes with cameras, sometimes with old ways." Soo-lay's voice dropped. "Old ways?" Baba Idris sighed. "It's not all jazz and juju the way foolish people talk. It's wisdom, precaution, a fence around the heart." Soo-lay looked at the charm again. "But why my name?" Baba Idris held Soo-lay's gaze. "Because the city has already chosen its story, whether it's true or not." Soo-lay felt cold. "What story?" Baba Idris spoke slowly. "That you are not just a driver. That you are the one she will fall for." Soo-lay's heartbeat crashed against his ribs. "Sir, that's not—" Baba Idris raised a hand. "Calm down. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying Abuja wants it to happen, so Abuja can destroy it." Soo-lay's mouth went dry. Baba Idris tucked the charm into his pocket and said to Soo-lay, "Stay disciplined. Don't be careless with your emotions. Love can enter through a door you didn't even know was open." As Baba Idris walked away, Soo-lay stood there, staring at the car. He came to Abuja to earn a salary, but somehow, Abuja had already written a romance around his name, and the city was waiting to see how it would end. Even the drivers downstairs began to look at him differently, some with respect, some with envy, some with amusement. One afternoon, as Soo-lay waited in the car park, a senior driver approached him. His name was Emeka. He had thick-set, friendly eyes, but his smile carried caution. "My guy," Emeka began, leaning on the car as if they were old friends. "You're new, so let me talk small." Soo-lay nodded. "I'm listening." Emeka lowered his voice. "This Abuja, it gets rules. For a poor man, the rules are many. For a rich man, rules are negotiable." He paused. "But for a rich woman, rules are traps." Soo-lay frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" Emeka nodded toward the building. "Madame Halima is powerful, yes, but people hate what they can't control. They will watch you. They will tempt you. If temptation fails, they will frame you." Soo-lay's stomach tightened. "Frame me for what?" Emeka gave a small shrug. "Anything. Theft, romance, blackmail, that you're sleeping with her, that you're using jazz. anything that makes people feel better about her success. Soo-lay exhaled slowly. I'm just a driver. Emeka laughed once. My brother, no one is just anything in Abuja. If you enter the wrong gist, you become a headline. Before Soo-lay could reply, his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Driver, the city is watching you. Don't mistake her kindness for love. Soo-lay stared at the screen. Another message followed immediately. And don't mistake your silence for safety. His throat went dry. He looked up sharply. The car park was full of people moving, laughing, and talking. Nobody looked suspicious. Everybody looked normal. That was the problem. In Abuja, danger wears normal clothes. Later that evening, when Zainab got into the car, Soo-lay considered telling her. But he didn't. Not yet. She already carried too much weight. Adding paranoia might be like pouring petrol on a small fire, Soo-lay said to himself. As they drove, Zainab's phone rang. She answered calmly. Yes, I've seen it. No, I'm not concerned about what blogs say. Let them talk. She ended the call and stared out the window. Soo-lay glanced at the rearview mirror. Ma, is everything okay? Zainab paused. Then, surprisingly, she answered. Someone leaked my schedule. Abuja, bloggers are writing nonsense. Soo-lay's chest tightened. They said what? He asked carefully. Zainab's lips pressed together. They said I'm parading a new driver around. That I'm lonely. That I need a man. Her voice remained soft, but Soo-lay could hear the irritation underneath, as if my wealth were a confession of emptiness. Soo-lay swallowed. People talk too much, Ma. Zainab turned her eyes to him through the mirror. Do you think they're right? Soo-lay's hands tightened on the wheel. This wasn't just a question. It was a test of character. No, Ma, he said. I think Abuja hates what it cannot understand. For the first time since he started, Zainab's face softened enough to look tired. Drive, she whispered. And Soo-lay realized something. Behind the billionaire title was a woman fighting battles most people would never see. Battles that could make her heart either harder or hungry. The first time Soo-lay realized he was no longer invisible, it wasn't from the blogs. It was from the way people stopped pretending they weren't looking. That Saturday, Zainab had a charity event at a high-end hotel near the Central Business District, one of those Abuja gatherings where the hall smells like perfume and politics. Soo-lay parked at the VIP entrance, stepped out, and opened the door. Zainab came out in a cream dress that looked simple until you noticed how perfectly it fit. Her scarf was pinned neatly. Her face was calm. But Soo-lay noticed something else. She was tired. Not sleepy tired. The tiredness of someone who has to carry herself like a symbol every day. As they walked in, photographers shifted like hungry birds. Soo-lay stayed a step behind, eyes forward, shoulders straight. And then he felt it. A stare. He glanced slightly to his left and saw her. Lola, dressed in black, lips red, smile polished. She watched Soo-lay like someone reading a book, already sure she knew the ending. Zainab's heels clicked once, then stopped. She didn't turn, but she spoke softly. Don't look around too much. Soo-lay's jaw tightened. Yes, ma'am. Inside the hall, the air buzzed with quiet competition. Women greeted Zainab with smiles that didn't reach their eyes. Men greeted her with respect that carried discomfort, because wealth in a woman still unsettled Abuja's fragile pride. Zainab spoke briefly on stage. Her voice was controlled. Applause followed. Cameras flashed. And then something happened that was small but dangerous. As Zainab stepped down, the hem of her dress caught slightly on a carpet edge. Her body tilted, almost losing balance. Soo-lay moved instinctively. He stepped forward and held her elbow, firm, respectful, quick, just enough to steady her. The moment lasted 1 second, but Abuja ate it like meat. A few heads turned, a few whispers rose. Lola's smile widened. Zainab recovered quickly and pulled her arm back, but Soo-lay felt the heat of that moment linger, because it wasn't about the stumble. It was about the fact that she allowed him close enough to catch her. Later, Zainab sat with top donors. Soo-lay stood behind her at a distance, but he could still hear bits and pieces. She's always alone. Maybe she finally found someone. Is that her driver? Abuja is funny. Soo-lay's chest tightened. He wanted to be angry, but anger would be childish. Abuja was a city that could turn a kind gesture into a scandal before dessert. When the event ended, Zainab walked out quietly. Soo-lay opened the car door. She entered without a word. He started the engine. As they pulled out, Zainab finally spoke. "You didn't hesitate." Soo-lay kept his eyes on the road. "You almost fell, Ma." "Yes," she said, "and you didn't look like you were trying to impress anyone." Soo-lay swallowed. "I was just doing what was right." Then Zainab said something that surprised him. "People only touch me when they want something." Soo-lay felt his throat tighten. "Not everybody, Ma." Zainab stared out the window. "Abuja will teach you otherwise." Soo-lay didn't reply, but inside, something shifted. He realized the problem was no longer just gossip. The problem was that Abuja had now seen him as part of her story. And cities like Abuja don't just watch stories, they interfere. The harmattan came harder that week, dusting Abuja with a pale dryness that made lips crack and eyes sting. It was the kind of weather that forced people indoors early. But Zainab didn't slow down with her schedules. Meetings, calls, investors, more meetings. That evening, Soo-lay drove her to a dinner meeting in Asokoro. The restaurant had been filled with soft music and hard conversations. Zainab barely touched her food. Meanwhile, she had a great time discussing with investors. After the meeting, Soo-lay drove her back to Maitama. As soon as she entered the car, she removed her heels and rested her head against the seat. Soo-lay noticed immediately. Her breathing sounded heavier. The usual sharpness in her posture had softened like wax near fire. "Ma, are you okay?" he asked gently. Zainab didn't answer immediately. Then she said, "Just drive." Soo-lay drove, but his eyes kept checking the rear mirror. Her skin looked slightly flushed. Her eyes were half closed. When they arrived at the mansion, Zainab tried to step out, but her knees weakened slightly. She caught the door for balance. Soo-lay moved instinctively. He offered his arm, hesitated, remembering Mrs. Jane's rules, then offered anyway. Zainab looked at him for a long second. Then she accepted. Her hand on his arm was light, but Soo-lay felt it like a weight. Inside the house, Mrs. Jane approached quickly. "Madam?" Zainab's voice came out quiet. "I'm fine." Mrs. Jane wasn't convinced. "You're not fine." Zainab waved her off, but her body betrayed her. A small cough escaped her. Soo-lay cleared his throat. "Ma, she's hot, like fever," Soo-lay said to Mrs. Jane. Mrs. Jane shot him a look, half annoyance, half worry. "You, wait here." She guided Zainab toward the stairs, but Zainab slowed and turned slightly. "Don't go," she said to Soo-lay. It was almost a whisper. Soo-lay froze. "Ma?" Zainab's eyes looked tired, vulnerable, human. Not the billionaire iron woman Abuja feared. "I don't like being sick," she said quietly. "It makes people bold." Mrs. Jane's face tightened. "Madam, please." Zainab's gaze stayed on Soo-lay. "Stay downstairs." Soo-lay nodded. "Yes, ma'am." They took her up. Minutes passed. Then Mrs. Jane returned with a thermometer and medication. "Driver," she said, voice clipped, "go to the kitchen. Bring warm water." Soo-lay did it quickly. When he returned, Baba Idris appeared as well, calm but watchful. The staff moved around like a silent emergency team. Soo-lay stood near the staircase, unsure of his place, until Zainab called down again. "Suleiman." His chest tightened. "Yes, ma'am." "Come," Zainab said. Mrs. Jane looked like she wanted to object, but she didn't. Soo-lay walked upstairs carefully. Zainab sat on her bed, wrapped in a robe. Her hair covering was looser now, her face less guarded. "Sit," she said. Soo-lay hesitated, then sat on the edge of a chair, not the bed. Zainab watched him and gave the smallest smile. Still disciplined. Soo-lay tried to keep his voice normal. "How do you feel, Ma?" Zainab exhaled. "Like a woman who has everything, except peace." That sentence hit Soo-lay harder than it should have. For a moment, he didn't see a billionaire. He saw a lonely person. And loneliness, Soo-lay realized, can make love enter quietly, like harmattan dust through a closed window. By Monday, Abuja had returned to its normal rhythm: traffic, ambition, and pretending. Zainab was back at work, but Soo-lay could tell she wasn't the same. Not weaker, just more aware. At Halima Group, she moved through the building with the same authority, but Soo-lay noticed something. She kept glancing toward him at small moments, like confirming he was still there. That afternoon, Soo-lay escorted her to a private board meeting. He stood outside the conference room as usual. Then Lola arrived. She didn't walk into the building like a visitor. She walked like someone who still believed she belonged. Her eyes met Soo-lay's, and she smiled, slow and deliberate. "Driver," she greeted. Soo-lay gave a polite nod. "Good afternoon, miss." Lola stepped closer, too close again. "You didn't tell her I spoke to you the other day." Soo-lay kept his face neutral. "I did." Lola's eyes widened slightly, then she laughed softly. "Ah, so you're honest." Soo-lay said nothing. Lola leaned in. "How was she last week?" Soo-lay frowned. "I'm not sure what you mean." Lola's smile stayed, but her eyes sharpened. "Don't pretend, Soo-lay. Abuja has already started writing your story." Soo-lay's voice dropped. "I'm not interested in stories." Lola's expression softened, fake sympathetic. "That's what makes you dangerous." She paused. Before Soo-lay could respond, the conference room door opened. Zainab stepped out briefly to take a call. Her eyes landed on Lola, and her face tightened. "Lola," Zainab said, "you didn't tell me you were coming." Lola's smile became sweeter. "I wanted to surprise you." Zainab's gaze flicked to Soo-lay, brief, quick. Soo-lay looked away respectfully. Lola noticed it. And that was when Soo-lay understood. The rivalry wasn't only business, it was personal. As Zainab walked away to take her call, Lola's smile faded. She turned to Soo-lay again, her voice quiet now. "Let me advise you." Soo-lay stayed still. "Zainab doesn't share," Lola continued. "Not her company, not her spotlight, not her men." Her eyes traced him slowly. "If she's looking at you, it's because she wants to own something again," Lola said. Soo-lay felt anger rise, but he crushed it. "Please, miss, I'm working." Lola's lips curled slightly. "Work?" she repeated. "Men always say that, until they see what the job can buy." She stepped back and fixed her hair. "When Abuja finishes with you, don't say I didn't warn you." She walked away, hips swaying, leaving perfume and trouble behind. Soo-lay stood there, hands clenched, because for the first time he admitted something to himself. Lola wasn't just trying to flirt, she was trying to plant poison. And the worst part? Poison works best when it tastes like truth. That night, Zainab didn't go straight upstairs when she got home. Instead, she sat in her study with a cup of tea, scrolling through her tablet like she was hunting something. Soo-lay waited downstairs, as instructed, until Mrs. Jane appeared. "Madam wants to speak with you," she said, clearly displeased by how often that sentence was becoming normal. Soo-lay followed her into the study. Zainab looked up. "Suleiman, sit." Soo-lay sat in the chair opposite her desk. The study smelled like expensive books and quiet decisions. Zainab held up something. "This is yours." Soo-lay leaned forward and saw his notebook, his personal journal, the one he kept in his bag. His stomach tightened. "Ma," Zainab raised a hand. "Relax. I'm not accusing you of anything." Soo-lay swallowed. "How did you get it?" "It fell from your bag when you were helping with my files," she replied calmly. "Mrs. Jane wanted to hand it back, but she paused, saw what it was." Soo-lay's throat went dry. "Ma, I didn't mean..." Zainab opened the notebook slightly. "You write?" "Yes, ma'am." "What do you write about?" Soo-lay hesitated. "Life, lessons, Things I observe? Zainab's eyes narrowed. Read this line. She turned the notebook toward him. Soo-lay read silently. A person can be rich and still be imprisoned. Sometimes wealth is the strongest cage. Soo-lay's heart raced. He hadn't expected her to read that. Zainab watched him. You wrote that? Yes, ma'am. Why? Soo-lay chose his words carefully. Because I've seen people in Abuja who have everything, but they don't look free. Zainab leaned back slowly, her gaze studying him in a new way, not as staff, but as a mind. Most drivers I've hired want tips, connections, or gossip, she said. You want meaning. Soo-lay swallowed. I just don't want to waste my life, Ma. I see. Then Zainab said quietly, Do you know why I don't smile? Soo-lay's chest tightened. No, ma'am. Zainab's eyes drifted to the window. Because every time I smiled too openly, someone thought it was permission. Soo-lay said nothing. Zainab returned her gaze to him. You don't take permission you're not given. Soo-lay felt heat rise to his face. I respect you, Ma. Zainab's voice softened slightly. Respect is rare. For a long moment, the room held silence, thick, intimate, dangerous. Then Zainab pushed the notebook back to him. Keep writing. Soo-lay collected it with careful hands. As he stood to leave, Zainab added, almost like an afterthought, And Soo-lay, man. Yes, ma'am? Don't let Abuja change your heart. Soo-lay nodded. I'll try. He left the study with his chest heavy, because deep down, he knew something she didn't say. It wasn't Abuja he was worried about. It was what he was starting to feel every time she looked at him like he wasn't invisible. 2 days later, Zainab asked Soo-lay to drive without a convoy. It was unusual. Mrs. Jane protested quietly, but Zainab's decision was final. I want quiet, she said. Abuja can breathe without escorts for 1 hour. Soo-lay drove her toward Jabi Lake in the early evening. The sun was low, painting the city with soft orange light. Zainab sat in the back seat, silent for most of the drive. When they arrived, she didn't ask to get out. She simply stared at the lake through the windscreen. Soo-lay waited, hands resting on the steering wheel. After a long moment, Zainab spoke. Do you think love is real? Soo-lay's chest tightened. Yes, ma'am. Zainab laughed once, not with joy but disbelief. People say love is real, but in my life, love has always come with conditions. Soo-lay swallowed. Conditions? Zainab's voice became quieter. When I was younger, I loved someone. Not a rich man, a smart man. He made me feel normal. She paused. He told me my ambition was beautiful. Soo-lay remained still, listening. Zainab continued, her eyes still on the lake. Then my company grew. The money came. The doors opened. And his love changed. It became hungry. Soo-lay's throat tightened. What happened? He started asking for shares, she said softly. Positions, contracts. He wanted to manage me. He wanted access. Her lips pressed together. When I refused, he became bitter. When he left, he took my secrets with him. Soo-lay felt anger rise on her behalf. That's wicked, Soo-lay said. Zainab nodded slowly. So now, I don't trust affection. I trust numbers, contracts, cameras. Soo-lay exhaled slowly. But humans are not contracts, ma'am. Zainab turned her eyes to him through the mirror. Exactly. That word landed like a stone in Soo-lay's chest. Zainab looked away again. Sometimes I wonder if I'm broken. Maybe I don't know how to be loved again. Soo-lay hesitated, then spoke gently. "You're not broken, ma'am. You're just guarded." Zainab's voice dropped. Guarded people still get lonely. There was silence. Then she asked, "Do you ever feel lonely, Suleiman?" Soo-lay's fingers tightened on the wheel. "Yes," he admitted quietly, "but I don't have the luxury of making loneliness my identity." Zainab's lips moved slightly, almost a smile. "You speak like a man who has survived." Soo-lay looked forward. "I have." Then Zainab said something that felt like a confession, but not romance. Yet. "I feel safe when you're driving." Soo-lay's heartbeat thudded. He didn't respond immediately because responding wrongly could set fire to everything. So he chose the safest truth. "I'm glad, Ma," he said softly. "I'll always do my best." Zainab stared at the lake again. "That's the problem," she whispered. "Your best makes me forget my fear."